Throne and Liberty is an upcoming MMO that's possibly going to be published by Amazon, and the question is that good or bad for New World? Now, you may have seen that Throne and Liberty has just had one trailer, but beyond that, not much is known about it. However, on my second channel here on YouTube, I am concentrating on the game quite heavily, so if you want to know more information about it, please do check it out. The link will be in the description. Now, this is an MMO that has caught people's interest. I think partly simply because everybody's looking for the next big MMO that they might be interested in. And oddly, with this game, there is actually some similarity with New World. From what I can tell, there will be no class system, but you will pick two weapons that you can freely mix and match. Sounds familiar, right? Now, Throne of Liberty has actually been delayed till the first half of 2023, but the reason for that is because they are in talks with a publisher regarding publishing in the West, which is NA and EU. And that publisher is heavily rumored to be Amazon Game Studios. And when I say heavily, it's almost certain at this point, it's just not been confirmed yet. And to me, this raises a couple of questions. My first thought was, do NCSoft actually really need a publisher? Because as far as I can tell, the NA branch of NCSoft published Guild Wars 2 themselves, I think in NA and EU. So I don't actually know the answer to that. I am assuming it's just easier for them, and maybe Amazon are actually just going to throw money at them. And then my next thought was, is this good or bad for New World? Well, if you are a die-hard New World fan and you want it to be as successful as possible, well, you might not want any competition to your favorite game so that more people play your game. And I think unlike Lost Ark, which was made by Smilegate but also published by Amazon, Lost Ark had quite a dissimilar gameplay. It was isometric, it wasn't very similar to New World at all, whereas Throne of Liberty is going to be like a 3D hybrid action game, so a lot more similar to New World. It feels more like Black Desert Online, for example, rather than Lost Ark. But yeah, you might think that any competition is bad, and this game is similar to New World, so you might be like, oh my god, what's going to happen? But really, I think we need to not worry about that, even as a fan of New World. I think New World really needs to run its own race. They shouldn't really be worried about what's coming out and what the competition is going to be like. New World needs to be around in 5 years' time, still pumping out content, and only then will we know if it's been a true success or not. And in my opinion, if you think Throne of Liberty is better than New World, then play Throne and Liberty. And if you think New World is better than Throne and Liberty, then play New World. It's really as simple as that. I'm probably going to play both, I think. Just quite casually. I'm just going to enjoy them as a casual and not stress too much. And then my next question was sort of along the same kind of lines. Are Amazon facilitating a competing game? And well, yes, I guess to some extent they will be, but this game would have been made with or without Amazon. It's not like the NCSoft would have completely created the game and then been like, oh, well, we don't have a publisher, we're just not going to release it. At some point, if they wanted to, they would have found a different publisher. The game would be here one way or another with or without Amazon. Yes, you might end up with a delay like Lost Ark or what have you, but at some point the game gets released, right? So when it comes to competition with Amazon, it's a bit of a moot point. The competition would have happened anyway. So Amazon figure, well, we might as well be involved and take a slice off the top. Makes sense. However, if I was NCSoft, I would be asking Amazon, how are they going to make it so that we know that they're not playing favorites? Can they be sure that they wouldn't prefer New World to succeed over Throne and Liberty? But I don't think that's really a question for us to worry about. Either way, we'll probably get decent games, right? But if I was NCSoft, that would be a question I would be asking. And the next big question to me is, why is Amazon actually trying to publish these kind of games? What is the bigger play? And to that end, I think the answer to that is a little bit more uncertain. Sure, they obviously want to make money. That's business 101. Sure, understandable. But this is Amazon. They're one of the biggest companies in the world already. You've got to presume that they have some kind of wider, grander plan. And I think they do. They obviously want to be involved in gaming, and it seems specifically they want to be involved with MMOs. And I think publishing other MMOs is just a way of them getting involved with a little bit less risk. You know, developing a game costs a lot of money, big expense, big chance for failure, etc. Whereas publishing a game is more just for the admin, sorting out the microtransactions, customer care, and the marketing, that kind of thing. It's not as intensive, but you don't reap all of the rewards. But if the game is successful, you can skim a little bit off the top, like I said. Great. But importantly, I think this is how Amazon actually competes with Facebook. And I know that sounds a little bit crazy. So Facebook is now called Meta, and they're obviously looking at the metaverse and that kind of thing. Meta seems to be focusing on like VR headsets and some like software, practical bits that are generally work related. And Amazon are making a name for themselves with MMOs, something which might not actually pay off for a decade or so. And I'm not saying that this is a great plan, it just seems to be that this is the plan, because I would be shocked if Amazon's goal isn't to be around in the gaming community when the metaverse truly takes off. And you've got to presume it's going to come from people who are currently making MMOs. That's the most obvious path, right? So I think that that's actually one of the reasons they're going to publish Throne of Liberty in a roundabout way. I know it sounds a bit bold and a bit daft, but I think it's basically the macro decision making of a company influencing its more micro decision making of the company. So you're talking about maybe like a 10 to 20 year plan influencing its 1 to 5 year plan. But that's obviously just speculation really on my part. But yeah, you could argue that having a new MMO competing against New World is bad if you are a New World fanboy or fangirl, because it is obviously just going to be more competition. But as I said, all the other MMOs, they really just need to run their own races and make the best games that they can. This game would likely come out with or without Amazon, so they obviously just want a little slice of the pie, and that's fair enough. So in a way, in the long run when it comes to New World, I think it's sort of neutral, neither really good nor bad. It's just another MMO coming out. But if you do want more details about that MMO, do make sure to head over to my second channel and give that a subscription, please. It really would help. Link in the description. But also let me know, what are your thoughts on Throne of Liberty? What are your thoughts on Amazon publishing Throne of Liberty? Are you interested, or do you just not care? Let me know in the comments below. Have a most beautiful day. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.